got some explaining to do. And the classic man is a danger to you. And me too, tatted on my forehead. Go home, go to bed. I dread something wicked this way come when the family unit is overrun. When the structure is undone by some new concoction. Now I walk softly and carry a big stick. Original gorilla.
Welcome to the Franchise Podcast. I'm Joe Arrigo. With me is my brother, my co-founder of this company, and the man who laced that song right there, OG.
Hey,
it's TQ.
what's up? What's up? We in the building. It's the Franchise Show with your boys, TQ and Joe. And man, we got some stuff to talk about today, don't we?
Man, it's been a very busy week for us in Vegas,
Man.
but we had the fights last weekend, but let's start with the big thing, which is a huge deal, and that's the Raiders and their now former coach, Jon Gruden. Now, everybody knows by this point that some emails came out from 2010 through 2018 about Gruden to, at the time, Washington football team president Bruce Allen, who's a former member of the Raiders that went with Gruden down to Tampa Bay when he took the job there, son of legendary NFL head coach Dick Allen. And in that email, or in those emails, there was misogynistic, there was racist, and there was not anti-Semitic, but homophobic emails sent there. So we all know that already. But Squeeze, this is where I'm going to start off with where I have a problem, bro. Okay, and this is, we talked about this privately at the crib and whatnot, but for me, when the remarks were made about NFLPA President DeMaurice Smith about his lips being so big, called him Michelin Man lips and rubber lips and things like that. When Gruden apologized, it was okay. There wasn't a lot of flack. But when he talked about LBTQ, or the alphabet crew, as I call them, because there's a lot of letters in there, and women having their new role as officials, that's when there was a problem. So are you telling me society and in general, the black man in the African American community is less than the other two in these emails, and it's okay to talk about them, but it's not okay to talk about anybody else, but you can talk about them because it's cool? I got a huge issue with that.
To be honest, bro, with this whole situation, I've had to sit back myself and just kind of reevaluate the position that I take on all of it. I've been a musician since I was a young kid. Been in the entertainment business, and we are so numb to this kind of stuff. Like, it happens so much that you have to kind of harden yourself and kind of put a brick wall around your feelings. You know what I mean? So when the first thing came out about D. Smith, I didn't take as much offense to it in the beginning because I had heard it before.
What? Tell that story.
Well, I was sitting at a table with an agent and some players, and it was just a conversation, a light-hearted conversation where everybody was bagging on each other. There was no white man at all at this table.
Okay.
And that line, or whatever you want to call it, and I don't want to even sound like I'm condoning this, but I'm just giving a little context to how I felt at the beginning. That was said at that table, and that was years ago. It is absolutely a running joke between him and other people that may or may not be close to him.
And in the NFL community, would you say?
I would say so. Based on that experience, I would say so. Now,
Wait, would you call it like barbershop talk?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, having said that, after hearing the rest of this stuff and the rest of the things in that email, I'm no longer putting Gruden in that group of people who may have mentioned that before.
This is the first I heard this because we talked about that privately.
Right. I can see where anyone could deduce some racism from that. now, whereas I didn't in the first place, based on my own experience. So what you're saying is the absolute truth. And I think the difference is I've kind of accepted it. It's been the truth for so long, and even more so in the last couple of years.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad.
There's no kind of. It's sad.
But
bro.
I look at it in a different way. Let me tell you the way I look at it. I look at it as a black man. These other groups, whether it's because of access or some other reason, they've used the resources available to them better than we have. And maybe it's because we haven't had the access to the resources that these other groups have had. But I do find myself a bit, I don't want to say jealous is the word, but I wish,
envious?
Yeah, I wish that our movement, which I don't want to, diminish anybody else's struggle, but the plight of the black man and black people in general here in America is just as serious, just as painful, just as generationally damaging as the plight of the LGBTQ community, the plight of women, the plight of Latinos and Asians and other groups.
Indigenous people.
Absolutely. And for whatever reason, ours still gets kicked under the rug as, you get a slap in the hand for doing it to us. You get fired for doing it to everybody else.
What I'm disappointed in, one is these emails. When you're, as a former coach and as a player, you look to your coach for leadership.
Right.
He is the captain of the ship. Right now, the Raiders are a rudderless ship. And I've been very, very fair to Mark Davis about a lot of things. To the Raider organization for a lot of things. I'm disappointed that Mark hasn't came out and done an interview with someone like Paul Gutierrez, who's, I think, the one person besides us that should interview Mark. Because Paul understands. Paul's covered them the longest. And I think Paul is the right person. And Mark should have got up on Wednesday when they had the press conference to speak out, or sat down with Paul and done an exclusive interview, and that'd be the only interview that he does. Instead, he let Mike Mayock and Rich Bisaccia, Derek Carr, Darren Waller, and Max Crosby take the lead on it. Now, to his credit, he did meet with the team, and along with Mayock and the Brain Trust, and they had a very open and candid conversation, from my understanding. But I would like to have seen Mark Davis take the leadership role. You're the owner of the team. You need to. If this was Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, you name an owner, hell, even in Green Bay with Murphy as the owner, he would have come out and spoke out. But Mark didn't. And to me, that's kind of weak. And it's kind of weak that you have other owners like Shad Khan, Jerry Jones, and a few others speaking out yesterday. That should have been Mark speaking out first.
I mean, I get your point, but I also look at it like this. We're just now speaking out on it now because we wanted to make sure that we had all the information that we could possibly get, and nothing was going to change, that we knew what we knew. And in a climate such as now, 2021, where everybody's in a rush to judgment, rush to go first, rush to deliver the news, rush to get emotional and release a statement, I think it's a time to gather information. I think it's a time to be to really comb over everything involved with this situation. But at the same time, the vested interest that the Raiders have lost their last two games and they look like trash doing it.
Well,
you
were
have
there.
to, yeah, exactly. That's my point. You have to get this team back to football. First and foremost, this is about football. Jon Gruden is one man. He was a representative of the Raiders organization.
Right.
The Raiders organization has been what it is since before he was around.
And it'll be there after him.
It'll be there after him. It was what it is before Mark Davis was around for that matter. So I would rather him sit back, gather himself, allow the actual leaders of the team, the guys that got to go out there and under a tremendous amount of weight and right this rudderless ship, as you called it. So I think it remains to be seen what's going to be said from Mark. If I was the owner of this organization, I would have dropped the same statement that he dropped so far, that, hey, I accepted the resignation, and then I'm going to go talk to my team.
But if you're going to have press conferences, you need to be the one to do the first one, not your GM, not the interim head coach, and not your players. It needs to be you.
I don't believe that in this situation. None of those people would be employed by the Raiders if it wasn't for Jon Gruden.
And Gruden wouldn't be employed by the Raiders if it wasn't for Mark Davis.
But Gruden is gone, and those guys are still there. They are the football team. I'm concerned about this team's football, because to sit up here and just wax all over a 60-something-year-old, 50-something-year-old white man from Ohio using racist and misogynistic and homophobic vocabulary in his email. Like, what kind of idiot am I to just sit here and worry about that as if that's not completely going on everywhere? Like, can you imagine if you was to go into the private emails of all the coaches in the NFL
I was going
right
to say,
now? Can you imagine in the private emails of the GMs or the owners? This is the biggest group of white men in sports. So, like, why are we gonna sit here and act like that Jon Gruden did the worst thing in the world? Man, I'm off of that. Well, he played himself by feeling that bold, even if it was 10, 15, I don't care how many years ago, to put that kind of stuff in an email to somebody. Like, that's ridiculous. If you're gonna talk like that, you talk like that with your friends over dinner at your house. Or better yet,
create a burner email.
Yeah. Or better yet, shut up about it. You can feel like that and nobody has to know.
Well, everybody's surprised by it. That's the thing. Like, everybody has said that, other than like maybe Keyshawn and people that he beefed with. Yeah. Everybody has said to a man that they're surprised that it came from him because they never expected that from him. Now,
I never would have expected it publicly. But if somebody was to say, hey, if you look in Jon Gruden's email, you're going to find some naked cheerleaders. If you look in TQ's email, you're going to find some naked cheerleaders also. So, I mean, and yours and most of the men we know. So, like,
why are you bringing me into this?
I mean, shut up. I'm just saying, most of us have naked pictures of women in our
facts
email somewhere. So if that makes us, terrible people, then we got a lot of terrible people here.
But the thing is, they wouldn't have known this unless the NFL wasn't conducting an investigation again, and the DEA against the Washington football team, as well as Daniel Snyder and Bruce Allen. And it's funny that
not the DEA, right?
Yes, the DEA, because one of the trainers, there's some.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
didn't know that.
So on top of that, you have these emails that were submitted to court on behalf of the Redskins, and all of them are redacted except for one in June of whatever year, and it was Jon Gruden, and it had ESPN personality on there. Mm-hmm. So someone had a cake bake for Jon. Mm-hmm. Why isn't the scrutiny being put towards Washington's owner, Daniel Snyder?
Just a good old boy.
Sing it.
Never mean any harm. Come on, man. You know what this is, man. You know what this is out here, man. The owners have a fraternity. You're from a fraternity. You understand what this is.
Phi Nu Pi.
You're going to look out for your boys. It's as simple as that. You know how much cake Daniel Snyder generates for the NFL? Yeah. They're going to look out for him. It's as simple as that. Jon Gruden is an employee, man. He's expendable.
So you've been in the entertainment industry your whole life. Let's just say your whole life, because that's pretty much what it's been.
Absolutely.
Have you seen anything like this on your end? Like as far as like in the entertainment world?
I have numerous times, but when it comes down to like music and film, nobody cares. It's kind of gangster. You know what I'm saying? Man, say what he want to say, and you're just gonna have to take it because 9 times out of 10, he got some mob ties or some other kind of ties or whatever else, and you just gonna have to deal with it if you continue to want to get paid. And I mean, and let's address the elephant in the room here.
Bring it, preach.
There is a mandate for black players in the NFL since Colin Kaepernick. You better chill out if you want to keep your job.
Yeah.
When we started playing football, yeah, we loved the game when we was kids. Absolutely. But pretty quickly, we started thinking about what it could do for our families
Financially.
and generations behind us.
Any sport, yeah.
Any sport. You can make it sound beautiful about the love of the game and all this and that. And yeah,
That's fodder.
a lot of people love the game, don't get me wrong. But for young black men, it's about taking care of home.
Means to an end.
Means to an end. And you're not going to do anything to mess with your bag. So when the little white voice in the room says, or the whisper that comes through the ventilation system says, hey, you better shut up about police brutality and the damn flag and Donald Trump and all of this other stuff. You know what they're going to do? They're going to continue to get the bag. And you can have the activists all over Twitter and IG saying whatever it is that they want to say. Oh, they cowards. Oh, they want to blah, 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 blah. No. Get the bag, black man. Because you shutting up, doing your job, will feed your children and your children's children and your children's children. Don't make no sense to be stupid. So I'm not condoning the situation, but I've dealt with it for years. Black men generations before me have dealt with it for years. This is the boat. If you want to rock the boat, the only thing that's going to happen to it, you're going to fall off. The boat is not going to sink.
It's going to keep going.
The boat's going to keep going. So it's just, it's a tough situation to be in. But as a black man in America, takes a bit more time to get the power, right? And it's only a couple of us that have gotten to the point where we have the power. Got your Magic Johnsons, your LeBrons, your Michael Jordans, a couple of other ones.
You left off a couple that have been in trouble, got in trouble because they had a little too much power.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Like, even at that level, there's a stay in your lane type mentality thing about us. Shut up and dribble thing about us. It like I say, it's a tough situation to be in, but my dad had to deal with it. My grandpa before him, grandpa before him. That is the boat.
I have a huge issue with it, and at the same time, I feel for the players. Yeah, I feel for Mark Davis, who I heard was extremely emotional Monday night.
I'm sure.
I even feel for Gruden and his family.
Yeah,
because I can't judge a man's heart.
Right.
I haven't been around him enough and hung out with him enough to know what kind of cat he is. Not like it's you. If you said some stuff like that, I probably know the context and where you're going with it, and I could defend it. I can't defend it.
I understand.
So I'm very empathetic towards all the parties involved, and I think the best thing for this is use it as a learning tool.
Yeah, I mean, he has to. He has to. I think that for the team, to be honest, and again, I don't want to make this less than what it is, but I mean, I'm an entertainer. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't care how Jon Gruden feels about any of the people that he mentioned. I just don't. I feel like he's pretty stupid for putting it in an email because, like, who would do that? But I just, that the offensive part of all of this for me, I'm sorry for anybody who hates this, was that loss to the Bears on Sunday.
Okay, you were there. Talk about what
terrible.
you seen. What did you see on the sidelines?
terrible X's and O's from the offensive side of the ball. People were saying that the new NFL game had passed Jon Gruden by, even when he was picked to be our coach.
I said that to him and he didn't believe me.
Because that wasn't the case up until these last couple of weeks. Actually, this season. Because even those games that we won in overtime, they didn't have to be close. They didn't have to be close. Like anybody is gonna have a problem dealing with Lamar Jackson. So that's a given. Anybody's gonna have a problem with him unless he has a bad night. But the offensive scheme for this team, this running the ball on first down, this running your injured all-world back into a depleted, remade offensive line that don't have the nuts that the last batch of guys had, he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to get tackled. And to do it over and over and over again without any changes, without switching the game plan up, Jon Gruden's 15 plays at the beginning of the game, his script.
They're great.
Legendary. I've been on the sideline watching the other defense completely confused. None of that's happening. It's not happening. I see a bunch of just outdated, archaic, not using the tools that he has there. If they haven't done anything, they've drafted and signed athletes on offense. Yeah. Like, the scheme is not working for the athletes.
It looks like, I think you told me this. Is it that you or somebody else? And I agree with it. The Raiders went from having all that money invested in the offensive line, and they did not play good the last couple of years, to now saying, okay, we're going to put that money on defense, and we're going to rebuild this line, but we're going to take our lumps. I look at what Gruden was doing, and I love the hire. To be very, I love the hire. And I still, if this didn't happen, I would still defend Gruden because I think you can get better. Because as far as up until this point leading the team.
They needed him.
Yeah, they needed him.
With this transition and everything,
right.
They needed him.
Now, what he did on the field in terms of some of the play calling, some of even who he's trying to get the ball to, like targets. Like you target Darren Waller damn near every play to game one. Last week he had like 5 targets. He's the best tight end in the game. How do you not get Darren Waller the ball against the Bears team?
I mean, in the defense, Henry Ruggs and Darren Waller command a lot of attention on the defense. Mm-hmm. So to me, he's gone from one extreme to the next. There's no
trying
balance.
To get Ruggs the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you just can't force it. You know what I'm saying? You're wasting downs because when you bring in your Tyreek Hill and you see that he has that ability, the rest of the league does too. So that speed is automatically even if it's the subconscious of the defense, it's gonna focus to that man.
Right.
So you got to work the field a little bit to give him some space, to give him some reps. And it's like it to me seems to me as if he started wanting to force his way, where his scheme is more important. It's like we don't just want to win, we want to win like this, as opposed to seeing that something is not working. We used to be in a position with the offense to say, check this out. We're going to line up. It's 4th and 1. 9 times out of 10, we're getting a first down.
Our fat guys are better than your fat guys.
Period. And they knew it. The team we were going against knew it. That's no longer the case. You got to switch the thought process. Hopefully Oli comes in and you never know. This could have been something that the team wants or that the team needs. They might feed off of this. Maybe that'll switch up a little bit and we'll get a little better on the offensive side of the ball. Because the defense is absolutely better than they were, but they're not great. So we didn't get this defense for them to carry us. They can't carry us.
No, they're supposed to bend, don't break.
Exactly.
The offense is supposed to carry you.
Exactly.
Well, it remains to be seen whether or not Rich Bisaccia is the guy to lead them. He will be for the rest of the season, the next 14 games or so. Was it? Or not in 14. 17 games. So 12.
Where are we? 3-2? Yeah, 12 games
next
left.
12 games. We'll see who they go with after that if it's not Bisaccia, who I think he may have a chance to stick.
Yeah.
But this is a chance for the team to be galvanized.
It is.
And show what they're about. And I'm going to tell you, the team that is hurt the most by this isn't the Raiders. It's the Golden Knights.
Why do you say that?
Because Tuesday night was opening night.
It was.
And no one gave a damn about Golden Knights opening night. Everybody was talking about Jon Gruden. That is their owner, Bill Foley's biggest nightmare. That's been the nightmare that Foley has had since the Raiders announced that they were coming. That's why he was so adamant about them not coming. That's why he's so adamant about teams not playing in that stadium, like bringing in a soccer team. He wants them for what he wants to do.
That's a good point. And it was a hell of an opening night.
Great opening night against the Kraken.
Great game, great presentation.
The intro was the best I've ever seen.
It was on ESPN. The intro was nuts. And literally crickets out here about it because of this.
Yeah.
This Raiders situation. It's literally not even about winning. The Raiders ain't won in 2 weeks.
At all.
It's crazy, man.
And the Golden Knights have been to the playoffs 4 straight years, Stanley Cup Finals once, Conference Finals twice.
Boy.
They just don't.
That's probably, I know he probably wants to punch Gruden himself.
It couldn't happen to a better person.
Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Most people are in this wouldn't say it publicly. I will. Why? Because that's what I do. I get us in trouble.
Yep.
So
that again.
Hey, but playoffs. Speaking, I mentioned playoffs, man. Like our Dodgers.
Yes.
Big game on Thursday night. They winner take all. 2 teams that have won a combined 218 games, 109 games apiece, including the playoffs. Dodgers and Giants. Game 5, NLCS or NLDS.
Yeah.
Up in Frisco.
And let's say this. We understand that sports media is completely East Coast bias. We understand that. You guys don't stay up late. You don't watch our games. You don't necessarily consider us until we smack y'all in a championship series, right?
Yeah. Unless you're the Lakers.
For California.
Oh, yeah.
This is the World Series. This is the viable rivalry in baseball. We get it. Yankees, Red Sox, where are they?
Well, Red Sox still playing. Yankees at home.
So I'm saying the Dodgers and the Giants playing it out to the end. We cannot wait till tomorrow night. The eyes of baseball are on San Francisco tomorrow night.
We got El Kakui, Julio Urias.
Yeah, buddy.
Going against Alfred E. Newman, Logan Webb.
Let's get it.
I like Kakui in that one.
For sure. But I will say this. We're going into a snake pit tomorrow night. It is not going to be easy. This will be our most difficult game this year, so I hope we're ready for it. Somebody's got to dig deep. Somebody by the name of Cody Bellinger.
He's been playing well.
He's got to continue. Tomorrow is the night that we're missing Munchie, that we need Munchie tomorrow night. We're not going to have him.
Well, I'm looking at Mookie and Trey.
Yeah. I mean,
because Trey hasn't really done a lot. He's starting to get hot. Right. Mookie's been Mookie since the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about Mook.
Not at all. Not
Trey,
at all.
Trey Day, I worry about Trey right now.
Munchie has been that guy that just gets that hit.
He owns the game. He had 8 home runs this year against them.
Smacks
17 the last 2 years.
Man, it couldn't be a worse person to be missing this game tomorrow night. But I mean, once again, just like I am with football, y'all know I like the Raiders and the 49ers. Probably one of the only people on earth. I do not hate the San Francisco Giants.
What?
I do not hate
God.
the Giants. When I played Little League, I played for the Giants.
Oh, here we go down
on
memory
Dodger
lane.
night. On Dodger night, we wear our uniforms to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And they put us up on the Jumbotron. And they would boo us.
I would too.
All of the rest of the kids get they shine and everybody at Dodger Stadium. And then when they announce us, we get booed.
Yeah.
So I felt some kind of way, started watching the great Barry Bonds, and, I don't mind the Giants. So at the end of the day, the Giants have won enough. Damn the Giants. The Giants need to lose tomorrow. Dodger blue, baby. I'm from Los Angeles.
Man, I could just see you in the Jumbotron with their hat on and little afro.
Oh man, so tough. Yo, it was a Jerry curl.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know. Yeah, man, that was sad, man.
Looking like sleazy.
You know how bad you feel, man. You know how bad you feel. You in Dodger Stadium getting your love on the Jumbotron, and they boo you. I'm a little kid. Give me a break.
I didn't have that problem when they did us up there at Dodger Stadium. I had a Yankee uniform on. They gave us a round of applause.
Oh, all right, whatever.
Hey, no, before we go, I want to tell you a quick story about Dodger Stadium with me. It'll be real fast.
Do it.
It was my senior year of high school. And I went to a bunch of us from my block. We went to the game, and it was an interleague game against the Dodgers and the Mariners. And there was Turner Ward was in right field, and I was giving dude the blues. Like, I mean, I was
heckling
bad. We were in the right field bleachers, and at the time, you had that separation between the wall and the bleachers, but we were in like that first two rows, and someone had a cutout of Earl Hershiser, and behind us, everybody had the K's from strikeouts.
Right.
So when they put us the cutout of Earl Hershiser on the Jumbotron. We had the K's, and we all stood up with 3 K's behind Oral's head and had Oral and KKK was on the Jumbotron.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah. Bro, you been an asshole from day one. Hey.
I never told him that story. You should have seen the look on his face. It was priceless.
Come on, man. Foul.
Hey, so we heard the intro for this for the franchise show.
Yeah.
It's the new song OG. Let's talk about that before we get up out of here. Like, OG is going to be coming on the new album. It's going to be on the new album.
Yeah. So I'm basically working on a new project, right? And basically what happened, the pandemic pretty much shut everything down. And then with all of the stuff that was going on at the same time, like the election and George Floyd and, the coronavirus and all of this, like, I was writing a project. And middle of the way through it, it's kind of like, man, this is sounding like revolution. It's kind of like I wrote my last album a couple of years too early.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? So I stopped. I kind of got my mind right and then started in a whole different direction. So I just got all of this just kind of 90s vibe R&B stuff going on right now. And I'm just continuing to write. I don't know if I'm going to put out 2 or 3 EPs, if I'm going to put out a double album or half and half album. I don't know. I know I'm writing. The songs are coming out. I'm happy with them. OG is one of the ones that I wrote during the pandemic, but I didn't record it until a couple of months ago. So it's definitely going to make the album, though.
When you recorded, I was downstairs.
Yeah.
And I walked upstairs, popped my head in the studio and was like, "This is not." I'm like, "Yep, there it is."
For sure, yeah, man. So, a lot of people are like, "Oh, man, you doing sports, you're not doing music." I'm like, listen, I'm always doing music. www.therealtq.com/music. www.therealtq.com/music. Come holla at your boy. Working on a new project, working on some new videos. We got a lot coming, man. But, I'm blessed to be able to have 2 of the best jobs possible to have. The 2 things that get me going the most is music and sports. And I don't even know what order it comes in. I've never known what order it came in. So, but it's a blessing to be able to have a company and be able to have a platform with your best friend and report the news, man.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the franchise show this week. Guys, if you get a chance, follow us on all social media at the Franchise LV, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Across the board. All of
Pinterest.
we're about to start up with Fanbase. If y'all haven't heard about the Fanbase app, go to it. Go check it out. It's brand new. It's one of the best new apps out there. It's a lot less invasive than the Google and the Facebook products or whatever, but check it out. Go to the App Store, go to your Android store and look at Fanbase. It's really cool. It's Instagram, Clubhouse, and a lot of other ones put in together. And we'll be starting our channel up. We'll be going live every week with the franchise show, and we'll probably be doing a simulcast on that platform exclusive. You dig? Hey, just so y'all know, that was your boy with that whack ass fade.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to like bring it in like that. But well, that's TQ. As you know, I'm Joe Arrigo. This is the franchise show on Franchise Sports Media. We appreciate you vibing out with us. See you next week.
Holla at your boys.
Original gorilla in the mix. Getting lead in assist. No look dish, no bricks. I come to set the pick for the youth. Young blood roll straight to the hoop.